Uh, this is my audience.
Hello.
I apologize. From cowboy boots and thick accents, traveling abroad and from state to state can be a culture shock. According to the Houston Chronicle, David Ingram says proper etiquette can build and maintain long lasting professional partnerships while bringing all types of businesses and unique cultures together. One thing that most holidays have in common is food. When traveling abroad, it is important to know what to wear when indulging in the best types of food in popular atmospheres. In Japan, the OK sign could have serious consequences when incorrectly used, so avoiding this gesture is likely. When pointing for directions, be careful how you ask such questions when traveling. Pointing with your finger is rude, and in many countries, it's probably wise just to abandon the gesture altogether overseas. Use an open hand instead to indicate direction. V for victory, at least you would think it means victory or peace, but that's not all it means in other places. If the palm and fingers face inward, it means up yours, especially if executed with an upward jerk of the fingers. Taking photos abroad is memorable and likely, but always ask for permission. In some countries, people believe that by photographing them, you're stealing their soul. When dining in other countries, it's important not to assume that you're going to be eating as if you were at home. In Thailand, don't put your food in your mouth with a fork. Instead, when eating a dish with cooked rice, use your fork only to push food onto your spoon. Also, standalone items that are not part of a rice-based meal may be eaten with a fork. The worst thing to do at a traditional rice-based meal would be to use chopsticks. Likewise, in Japan, never stick your chopsticks upright in your rice. Between bites, use your chopstick. Your chopsticks should be placed together right in front of you, parallel to the edge of the table, and nowhere else, unless there's a chopstick rest. During funerals in Japan, the rice bowl of the deceased is placed before their coffin with their chopsticks upright in the rice. Asking for a fork is okay and more preferred in this situation. In the Middle East, India, and parts of Africa, don't eat with your left hand. You shouldn't even touch the plate with your left hand while eating. That's largely because the left hand is associated with bodily functions, so it's considered dirty. In fact, don't even pass important documents with your left hand. If you're left-handed, it's okay to use as long as you take your right hand out of the game. In Mexico, never eat tacos with a fork and knife. Mexicans think that eating tacos with a fork and knife looks silly and worse, snobby, kind of like eating a burger with silverware. In France, don't eat your bread as an appetizer before the meal. Instead, eat it as an accompaniment to your food. That said, placing bread directly on the table and not on a plate is okay in this situation. In Italy, don't ask for Parmesan for your pizza. The basic rule of thumb in Italy, if they don't offer it to you, don't ask for Parmesan. In China, don't flip the fish. Although you might be used to flipping the fish whenever you're done eating it, it's considered to be bad luck because whenever you flip the fish, it's like capsizing the boat of the fisherman that caught the fish. Never mix or turn down vodka in Russia. The beverage is always drunk neat and not with ice. Adding anything is seen as polluting the drink's purity unless it's mixed with beer. Since offering someone a drink is a sign of trust and friendship in Russia, it's a good idea to take it and not turn it down, even if it is 9 in the morning. Don't eat anything, even fries, with your hands at a meal in Chile. Manners here are a little more formal than many other South American countries. While it might be the most practical, just pick up those fries with your fingers. Don't do it. Young Chinese people tend to be a lot less conservative than older generations. Be respectful of your hosts and don't wear anything that you wouldn't wear home for dinner. Women should aim for low heels or flat shoes. Clothing that avoids bright colors and has high necklines with revealing as little as possible is preferred among women. As stated in Afghanistan, language, culture, customs, and etiquette, men should wear conservative suits and shoes. Women must always dress modestly and conservatively. The general rule is to show as little flesh as possible. Tide's fashion blog says that France is considered by many to be one of the most fashion-forward countries in the world, and has been for many years. When choosing professional business attire to be worn in France, bright colors should be avoided. Collaboration of different cultures and exposure to new ideas can bring all parties under a common understanding and respect. With globalization on the rise and more programs abroad, understanding what to do and what not to do will prove to be useful in any situation when traveling abroad. Knowing the outcomes and learning different cultures, whether it be with food or gestures, will only lead to improvement in social and professional atmosphere.